Meet Elias, age 16. He's the captain of every team, the guy everyone knows, and the one with a bright future mapped out. His life seems perfect. He's got a girlfriend, college plans, and the admiration of his peers. But behind the scenes, there's a different story. In the quiet of his room, Elias stands before his mirror. The smile he wears so easily in public fades away, replaced by a searching, uncertain expression. He studies himself, then carefully puts the smile back on, practiced and flawless. In this private moment, Elias wonders who he is without the mask he shows the world. Elias' life is a performance, each day a new act. He's learned to be exactly what everyone expects, confident, charming, and always in control. But as he stands alone, the weight of expectation presses down. The mirror becomes his silent audience, reflecting not just his face but his doubts. He rehearses his smile, making sure it's just right. It's a routine he knows well, but each time it feels a little less real. The question lingers, who is Elias when no one is watching? The answer for now remains hidden behind that perfect grin. Now meet Damian, also 16. He's not the center of attention, he's on the edges with just a handful of friends. Trouble seems to find him, though he never starts it. Damian's world is quieter, lonelier. In a small, cracked bathroom, he faces his own reflection. Frustration boils over and he punches the mirror. The glass shatters and regret sets in instantly. As he cleans up the shards, he cuts his hand. There's no one to help him. Damian learns a hard lesson. If he's going to make it, he'll have to take care of himself. Damian's pain isn't just physical, it's emotional too. Each cut, each bruise is a reminder that he's on his own. He wraps his hand, gritting his teeth against the sting. The cracked mirror reflects not just his face but the walls he's building around himself. Damian's armor is forged in these moments, toughness born from necessity. He's learning to rely on no one but himself. The world outside may not notice, but inside Damian is changing. He's becoming someone who can survive, no matter what comes his way. It's a typical high school party. Music thumps, laughter fills the air, and the house is packed. Elias is in his element, surrounded by friends telling stories, the life of the party. Damian, meanwhile, keeps to the edges, watching from the sidelines. He doesn't quite fit in, but he's there, hoping for a moment of connection. The energy in the room is electric, but beneath the surface, tensions simmer. Two very different worlds are about to collide. As the night goes on, the atmosphere shifts. A careless comment, a spilled drink, small sparks that threaten to ignite something bigger. Damian senses trouble brewing, his instincts on high alert. Elias, meanwhile, is swept up in the fun, barely noticing the storm gathering on the outskirts. The party is a powder keg, and it's only a matter of time before it explodes. Suddenly a fight erupts. Shouts echo, fists fly, and chaos takes over. Damian is caught in the middle, though he never started it. In the confusion, blame lands squarely on him. The crowd quickly turns, and Damian finds himself alone against a tide of accusation. Elias sees what really happened. He knows Damian isn't at fault. But as eyes turn to him, Elias hesitates. The moment to speak up passes, and Damian is left to face the consequences alone. The room quiets as accusations fly. Damian tries to defend himself, but no one listens. Elias stands by, silent, torn between loyalty and self-preservation. He knows the truth, but fear holds him back. The weight of the moment settles heavily on both boys, one condemned, the other complicit by omission. The party ends in chaos, and the fallout is just beginning. Next day, Damian is called into the principal's office. The verdict is swift: suspension. His mother, worn down by years of struggle, doesn't defend him. Damian sits alone, the weight of injustice heavy on his shoulders. He's angry, but more than that, he's hurt. The lesson is clear: sometimes the world isn't fair, and no one is coming to save him. At night, Elias lies awake, unable to sleep. The events of the party replay in his mind, each moment sharper than the last. For the first time, he feels the sting of guilt, a heavy, unfamiliar burden. He tries to bury it, telling himself he did what he had to do, but the truth lingers, gnawing at the edges of his conscience. Elias is beginning to realize that doing nothing can be just as damaging as doing the wrong thing. The punishment escalates. Damian is expelled from school. There's no appeal, no second chance. He packs his few belongings in silence, the finality of it all sinking in. The town that never really welcomed him is now shutting its doors for good. Damian boards a bus at night, his face reflected in the dark glass. He leaves with nothing but the lessons he's learned the hard way. Meanwhile, Elias' path couldn't look more different. He's awarded a scholarship, celebrated by family and friends. As he leaves town, sunlight streams through the car window, illuminating his face. But even in this moment of triumph, there's a shadow behind his eyes, a secret he carries alone. The world sees a winner, but Elias knows the cost of his silence. Two boys, two journeys. Damian's bus rolls through the night, empty and silent. Elias' car glides through the morning, filled with laughter and hope. Their faces, each reflected in a window, tell stories of loss and longing. The narrator's voice reminds us, both are leaving the same town, but their destinations couldn't be more different. One heads toward a stage, the other toward a shadow. Neither knows how their paths will cross again. As the vehicles carry them away, a question hangs in the air, one neither boy has thought to ask. What if their stories aren't as separate as they seem? The narrator hints at a future connection, a moment when their lives will intersect in ways they can't yet imagine. For now, the roads diverge, but the journey is far from over. Both boys gone, the town settles into silence. But life doesn't pause, it presses forward. Act II begins, and with it, new challenges and pressures. The world outside is bigger, harsher, and full of unexpected turns. For Elias and Damian, the next chapter will test everything they think they know about themselves and each other. Elias steps onto his new campus, greeted by unfamiliar faces and endless possibilities. The excitement is real, but so is the anxiety. He's no longer the big fish in a small pond. Here, he's just another student trying to find his place. The pressure to perform is still there, but now it's mixed with the fear of being forgotten. Elias wonders if the mask he wore at home will work here, or if he'll have to find a new way to belong. Damian arrives in a new city, the lights and noise overwhelming. He has no plan, no support, just the determination to survive. Every day is a test, finding food, shelter, and a sense of safety. The city is indifferent, but Damian is used to being overlooked. He keeps his head down, learning the rhythms of survival. Each small victory is hard won, but it's his alone. Classes are harder than Elias expected. The competition is fierce and the expectations are higher than ever. He throws himself into his work, determined not to let anyone down. But the cracks begin to show: late nights, missed meals, and a growing sense of isolation. The mask is slipping, and Elias isn't sure how much longer he can keep up the act. Damian takes whatever jobs he can find, washing dishes, sweeping floors, anything to get by. The work is hard, the pay is low, but it's honest. Each day he proves to himself that he can survive on his own. The city is still a lonely place, but Damian is learning to carve out a space for himself, one shift at a time. Making friends isn't as easy as it used to be. Elias finds himself on the outside looking in, unsure how to connect without the familiar roles he played back home. He attends parties, joins clubs, but the connections feel shallow. The loneliness he once saw in Damian's eyes now stares back at him from the mirror. One evening, Damian meets someone who offers a helping hand, a coworker who sees past his rough exterior. It's a small gesture, but it means everything. For the first time in a long while, Damian feels seen. The city isn't quite so cold, and hope begins to flicker in the darkness. Elias can't keep up the performance forever. One night, overwhelmed by stress, he breaks down. The mask he's worn for so long finally cracks, and the pain he's been hiding pours out. Alone in his dorm room, Elias faces the truth. He doesn't know who he is without the expectations of others. It's a painful realization, but also the first step toward something real. Slowly, Damian begins to trust again. He lets his guard down just a little and finds that not everyone is out to hurt him. The friendships he forms are tentative but genuine. Damian is learning that strength isn't just about surviving alone, it's about letting others in. Realizing he can't do it all alone, Elias reaches out for support. He talks to a counselor, opens up to a new friend, and begins to let go of the need to be perfect. It's not easy, but each step brings relief. Elias is starting to understand that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the beginning of healing. With a small circle of friends and steady work, Damian begins to dream again. He thinks about going back to school, maybe even finding a way to help others like him. The city that once felt hostile now holds possibilities. Damian's journey isn't easy, but he's moving forward one step at a time. Elias starts to redefine who he is, separate from the roles he played back home. He explores new interests, tries new things, and allows himself to fail. Each experience, good or bad, helps him grow. The journey is messy, but Elias is finally living for himself, not just for others' approval. Inspired by his own struggles, Damian volunteers at a local shelter. He shares his story with others, offering hope and understanding. Helping people who are where he once was gives Damian a sense of purpose. He's no longer just surviving, he's making a difference. Elias can't escape the memory of that night at the party. The guilt he tried to bury resurfaces, stronger than ever. He knows he needs to make amends, but he's not sure how. The past is a shadow that follows him, reminding him that some wounds don't heal on their own. Damian is learning to forgive, not just those who wronged him, but himself. The anger that once fueled him is slowly replaced by acceptance. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past, but it makes the future possible. Damian is ready to move forward, lighter than before. Haunted by regret, Elias decides to reach out to Damian. He writes a letter, unsure if it will ever be read. In it, he confesses his silence and apologizes for not standing up when it mattered. It's a risk, but Elias knows it's the right thing to do. The act of reaching out is a step toward healing, for both of them. Damian is surprised when he receives Elias' letter. He reads it slowly, absorbing every word. The apology stirs old wounds, but also brings a sense of closure. Damian realizes that forgiveness isn't just for Elias, it's for himself too. The letter becomes a turning point, a bridge between past and future. After sending the letter, Elias feels a weight lift. He knows he can't change the past, but he can choose how to move forward. The act of letting go is freeing, and Elias begins to embrace the present, open to whatever comes next. With the past behind him, Damian is ready to seize new opportunities. He applies to a community college, determined to build a better future. The journey isn't over, but for the first time Damian feels hopeful. He's not just surviving, he's thriving. Elias welcomes change, no longer afraid of what it might bring. He tries new things, meets new people, and allows himself to grow. The fear of failure is still there, but it no longer controls him. Elias is finally living authentically, true to himself. With each passing day, Damian's confidence grows. He excels in his classes, makes new friends, and begins to envision a future he never thought possible. The hardships he faced have shaped him, but they don't define him. Damian is building a life on his own terms. Elias learns to balance ambition with self-care. He sets boundaries, prioritizes his well-being, and discovers that success isn't just about achievements, it's about happiness too. The journey is ongoing, but Elias is finally at peace with who he is. Grateful for the second chance, Damian reaches out to those who helped him along the way. He expresses his gratitude, knowing that he couldn't have made it alone. The connections he's formed are a source of strength, reminding him that everyone needs help sometimes. With the past behind him, Elias looks to the future with hope. He's learned from his mistakes and is ready to face whatever comes next. The road ahead is uncertain, but Elias is no longer afraid. He's ready to write the next chapter of his story. Inspired by those who helped him, Damian commits to helping others. He mentors younger students, volunteers in his community, and becomes a role model. The cycle of kindness continues, and Damian's story inspires others to believe in second chances. Elias' journey comes full circle as he returns home for a visit. The town looks the same, but he's changed. He reconnects with old friends, visits familiar places, and reflects on how far he's come. The past no longer holds him back. It's part of his story, but not the whole story. Damian too returns to his hometown. The memories are bittersweet, but he faces them with new strength. He visits the places that once brought him pain, now seeing them through different eyes. The journey has changed him, and he's proud of who he's become. By chance, Elias and Damian cross paths in their hometown. The meeting is awkward at first, but soon old wounds give way to understanding. They share their stories, realizing how much they've both changed. The past is acknowledged, but it no longer defines them. Their conversation is honest and healing. Elias apologizes in person and Damian accepts. Both recognize the pain they've carried, but also the strength they've gained. The meeting marks a new beginning, built on forgiveness and mutual respect. Elias and Damian part ways, but this time there's no bitterness, only hope. They've both learned that life is full of unexpected turns, and that strength comes from facing challenges head-on. Their stories are forever linked, each having helped the other find their way. As the story closes, we see both Elias and Damian stepping into their futures. The road ahead is uncertain, but they walk it with confidence, shaped by the trials they've overcome. Their divergence was only the beginning, now anything is possible. The journey continues, and so does hope.